Hey folks, Peter here. Thank you for joining me for another episode in the 3D printing series. I'm glad to have you here. Today's episode, we got a bit of a doozy, I would say. We're gonna get these dampers installed. I finally got the gears off of the motors, so that's pretty cool. And I found a clip to print for the extruder to hold the cable out of the way. So let's get into it. So actually the first step here is pretty easy. Here are the two motors. We have the Y-axis and the X-axis motor here. I did have to kind of wrench on these a little bit. You can see some teeth marks from the vice grips I was using. I had to cut off part of the gear, and then I was able to fit a screwdriver in and lift those up. Hopefully they still work. If not, I guess I'll just order some new motors. But installation is actually pretty simple. We're just gonna go ahead and get these installed, and every one of these dampers is a little different. This has two holes that are not threaded and then two holes that are threaded. I'm gonna put the non-threaded end on here. There's a lot going on here, so don't look away. So got the non-threaded end there. And these are the stock screws that came off of this motor. Now that I have both of those on and make sure that those holes are lined up, I can go ahead and tighten those down there. So that's ready to be installed, and then we'll just use these two threaded holes to secure this to the frame. Should be a similar process here, except this one's a little bit different. The X motor has 4 long screws, so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to leave this as this, and I'm going to attempt to use all 4 of the screws. There's a box that holds the end stop, and then these are the screws, so hopefully I can just fit that screw down like that and screw it in like so. But I don't know if that's going to hold it on, so I might have to use some aftermarket screws. And this is just a kit that I got online. M3. And I'm just going to use whichever one is the shortest one in here, which I think is the 6mm. We'll get it working. So before I actually get this Y motor installed, we kind of forgot a whole step, which is getting these gears installed. And how these work is there's just 2 little screws in here, and that's going to grab the shaft there. I will install that, and then once I actually fit it on the machine, I'm going to adjust so that the teeth on here line up perfect with the belt. That way there's no rubbing or friction or anything like that. That wasn't even the right Allen wrench. I have the right Allen wrench now, so it'll actually tighten those up for me. I was sitting here spinning it and I was wondering why nothing was moving. But that wheel just get loosely attached on there. Nothing to it. And now that one's ready to go. I'm going to repeat the process with this guy. And these should be all set to install. Alright, so here we are. This is where the motor for the Y-axis gets mounted. And I'm doing this all backwards, so hopefully I can do this with some decent accuracy here. And which way do I want this to face? Let's aim it so that connector is down. That seems okay to me. I'm just going to reach through here. And this really is this simple. Just the 2 screws there. Then we'll get that belt fit at some point here. You know, this would be a lot easier if I was actually watching what I was doing and seeing what I was doing. Get those screws tightened down here. So I've loosely fit the belt back over the end there. Clearly things aren't lining up though. So now that that's on there, the belt is actually angled off to the side here a little bit. So I'm just gonna loosen this set of screws on here. There we go, that looks a little bit straighter with the rest of the assembly there. And that looks to be in line. Cool. So that is the Y motor installed. Go ahead and reattach the clip here. So now it actually has the wires reconnected, so this motor will work when we plug it back in. I'm gonna rearrange everything so you guys can see the X-axis, and we'll repeat this process. So I've gone ahead and fitted 2 of those screws that I was telling you about, those M3 6mm bolts to hold this damper on there. And then I do have the threaded hole still open here. So this is gonna sit in here. Again, I think we'll aim the connector clip down. So now all I have to do is get this belt fit back over here. It's actually a lot easier with it not attached. So get that fit over there, and then we can realign that screw. So I am just holding this by hand, but we can kind of make sure that that gear is lined up, and it looks okay to me. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten down those screws there. Make sure to lock that in. Cool. So now what I have to do is I have to fit this box back over. Just let all the screws fall out, that's fine. And I can only use 2 of them. There'll be this one in the upper corner here and down on the inside. The other 2 don't have openings since the other screws are there. But this should, in theory, and again, I'm doing this, I'm reaching across. I don't know if you guys can see me way back here. I'm reaching around the machine to do this, so I don't have the best viewpoint here. But this should work. There are clearly a lot better ways to do this, but I'm trying to show you guys how to do it on the video. So there's that one installed. See if everything lines up nicely. Oh yeah. So it is installed. It looks like the X-axis belt also moves pretty nicely there. So all I have to do is go in and reattach this clip again. And that's installed. So now, in theory, everything should work. And we're gonna go ahead and run that print. Like I said, I wanted to show the clip that I found for the extruder here to hold this cable up in place. But more importantly, while that's running, you guys are actually gonna hear how quiet this machine is now. If you don't remember what this sounds like, just go watch one of my old videos. You'll hear how loud this thing is. Again, this is still on this plastic table. There's nothing underneath this machine. It's just a plain machine on a plastic table with damper motors. So let's see how quiet this gets. All right, so I have everything turned on here. Everything has to heat up still. But let's just see how much quieter this gets. And I don't know, everything should still be pretty level on this bed. I haven't really adjusted too much, but moving it around on the table can adjust it a little bit. So if you are having issues and you recently moved your printer, just make sure to do another bed leveling, which I might have to do here. I am just gonna let this run though, even without doing the bed leveling. The point here more so is to just see if those dampers actually bring that volume down any. And then if it prints nicely, awesome. If not, I'll go through and I'll do another bed level. And then I'll print the piece and then I'll show you guys after that. While we're here waiting for everything to heat up, the clip is going to fit. There's a screw here to adjust the tension on the extruder. And it actually just fits perfectly underneath here. So, but you guys will see that when it gets going. Now I'm just waiting for it to heat up. So I'll be back when it starts moving. And this thing should be kicking off right now. Listen, this is unedited audio. You guys have heard this machine in the past, but listen to it now. I didn't do the Z. If you guys are wondering, I didn't do the Z motor at all. Do you hear that? Do you hear how quiet that is? And the bed leveling actually looks pretty good still. The skirt looks like it's getting a nice smush on it there. That's so quiet. This is blowing my mind actually. So yeah, that's pretty much going to do the video. I'm just going to wait for this print to get done. It actually is running right now. I don't know how much of it's being picked up by this microphone, but in all my videos, this microphone has not moved. So you can go reference any other print that I've done and compare it to this. This is crazy. It's really quiet. Everything seems like it's functioning okay. I don't hear belts rubbing or anything on the metal frame there. So that's pretty good. But yeah, and those dampers are pretty cheap. The only issue is that you do have to get those gears off of the motor. So if you can source different motors that don't have the gear on them and then just buy your own gear separately, put it together yourself, that's going to work out great for the dampers there. Otherwise, take a grinder to the gear, whatever you need to do to get that gear off of that post. I mean, that's a game changer. I don't know if that's going to affect the vibrations for the print too. Again, this still is on a... This whole table is actually shaking right now, so there's a little bit of wobble in this table anyway. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. I'm really impressed by that, and I think they cost me like 10 bucks. So, and there's a third one that comes with it. Yeah, 12 bucks. I bought 12 bucks. I bought them for 12 bucks. But there's a third one that comes with that. So if you wanted to do the Z motor, and that's the loudest part of the machine now is the, and I'm sure this would do the exact same thing. That one might even be the easiest to do because the Z screw is coupled on there. It's not a gear, so I should just be able to shift that up a little bit. This still amazes me. This printer is going right now, and I'm sitting right here. The loudest thing on it right now is this fan. Well, I'm gonna let this print get finished up. It should only take a few minutes. The Cura slicer said it was like 8 or 9 minutes. It's at 8 minutes right now, and it's not even halfway done, so there could be some discrepancy there between the machine and what the software tells me. But I'm gonna let this get wrapped up, and then I'll show you guys the print. While this is printing though, I guess I'll just take the time. Make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you are enjoying this 3D printing series. I do appreciate you being here. If there is something that you do want me to print on this that you think would be great for the machine on Thingiverse or whatever other trusted website is out there for stuff like that, let me know. Or if there's something I should be buying for this machine or tweaking, anything like that. I do want to make this series weekly. I just don't know exactly what all I'm going to be able to do with it every single week. But so far, the upgrades have been awesome. I'm excited for this clip. That should help with some of these issues with the Bowden tube there. Although it's still printing. This is it's still blowing my mind how quiet that can get. And I'm sure it can get even quieter too. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. You guys know that. I'm gonna let this print finish up and then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so the print just got done. There it is, and this PEI stuff. Oh. That's why I love this PEI stuff, is it just comes clean off of there. Same with that there, look at that. Look how easy that comes off. All that stuff comes off way too easy. But there is the clip. So this is where the cable will be held, and then this just fits behind that screw. So let's go ahead and get that installed. This should just take a couple seconds. And we'll see how it looks. So I said this is a pretty quick install, so all we're gonna do here is just open up that screw a little bit, kind of line up that clip, just like that, tighten down that screw, that's in place, and then all we do is just hold that like that. It's really that simple. It's just a little touch on the machine there. I think that looks okay. It is going to hold that cable up, so this isn't going to be drooping down here anymore or causing any sort of issues that might pop up with some sort of tangling or anything. Simple enough. That was like 12 minutes is what the machine says here, including the printing the skirt and everything. But that's that. That's installed, easy enough. So it really is just a simple piece of metal, a little bit of rubber. Find these online, they're pretty much anywhere. I don't know if some are better than others or anything like that, but it's literally just rubber and metal. So 10 bucks, 12 bucks, 15 bucks, whatever it might be. I highly recommend that. Like I said, you do have to get some different motors or get the gear off of your current motor and then buy some different gears to fit on the new motors or on your current motors. However you want to get that figured out. If you do buy new motors and separate gears, easy enough process. Put it on the machine, feed the belt on there, line up the gear, done. I like it. If sound does bother you from your machine, check into this. And then also those pavers like I was talking about, a rubber paver and a stone or a concrete paver. Those should also help get rid of some sounds too. But that alone right there for 10, 12 bucks, that's pretty impressive. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, as always, for being here. I'll see you in the next one, and until then, have a good one.